welcome to our new video. Today we're going to talk about our experiences throughout the first until the third trimester. So let's see what kind of stories we have to tell you about all the experiences and emotions that we have been through the last couple of months. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I am currently in the third trimester, as we speak, 39 weeks pregnant. So I think we have some experience now, and we thought it would be interesting to also have the male side of the trimesters, so we both have different experiences, maybe some are the same. And I thought it would be nice, I haven't told you yet, but I looked up the symptoms from, like the usual internet symptoms from trimester 1 till 3, and I thought maybe we can just scroll through those real quick and just do like a little yes no, and then tell the experiences that we had.
Yeah.
So
also took a bunch of notes here.
Yeah, my notes are on the phone and Philip's are old school on paper. That's better. But yeah, the first trimester is from week 1 till week 12. So usually you find out that you're pregnant at week 4. So it's not really.
And for us it was about January until March this year.
Yeah. So what they start with at the first trimester is extreme tiredness.
Yep.
I think I can definitely agree on that. They say tender, swollen breasts. Not really. Upset stomach with or without throwing up.
Was that already in the first trimester?
Well, the throwing up was in the first trimester, but my stomach was doing fine. Cravings or distaste for certain foods. I definitely had distaste for certain foods. I was craving just more healthy food.
True.
And mood swings, not per se. We will come back on that later.
Not per se,
Headache, don't think so. Heartburn, definitely not. Weight gain or loss, also not really yet. So those are what the internet says you have as symptoms in the first trimester. You could have, yeah. You want to start or should I?
No, please go ahead.
Okay, well, I think it makes sense to start with the symptoms that I had when I found out I was pregnant. And I think the first symptom was actually the extreme tiredness that I also told it in our pregnancy reveal video, that I was working, I was just sweeping, and I had to take 3 breaks and just sweeping for 10 minutes. It was crazy. I just couldn't last. I was so tired, and I think the tiredness stayed for a while. I could sleep during the day, in the evening, at night, doesn't matter. I could sleep a lot.
You remember that there was one day where I only saw you sleeping?
Yeah, it was terrible. But I guess your body needs it. So that was actually already before I really found out that I was pregnant, but I had that and I was like, or I'm getting really sick, or I'm pregnant. And then it turned out to be the second one. I think that was the biggest one for me in the beginning. I was not nauseous yet, by the way, and I just had craving for more healthy food. I wanted apples and everything, just some fruits, some healthy stuff, broccoli. Usually I don't really, so that was also before I found out. And then a few weeks in, the nausea started, and I expected it to be like really morning sickness, like you see in The Sims. You throw up, you find out you're pregnant, and you're only a little bit nauseous in the morning, or just throw up once in the morning and the rest of the day is fine. But to be honest, the nauseousness can be all day, all night, sometimes waking up in the middle of the night and just throwing up without a reason. But I especially hated being nauseous all day without actually having to throw up. It's just every smell is too much, and the supermarkets are not nice to be in that period. that took up a lot of my energy and time and motivation to do stuff.
I haven't worn my perfume for at least 9 months now.
Yeah, it's forbidden.
Yeah.
I think he tried it one time and I got so mad. So sorry, this is really not okay. There's one other thing that I didn't expect in the first trimester, and I had so many actually like period cramps. It really felt like period cramps because your uterus is growing and it just puts tension on the muscles and everything, and that also really could keep me up at night. And so you prepared some heating pads for me. It really felt like being on your period with really strong cramps, and I thought that is something for the last trimester, actually not for the first one, but I actually had a lot of those growing pains. And for the rest, I think that is it. And I also wrote down some tips. I would just say, look for food and drinks that you can have, as in that not make you nauseous. So for me it was like crackers or ice cream, like only the water ice cream without almost taste, cucumber, fruit, bubbly water, because I also didn't like water, like normal water was just not, I didn't like it anymore. And yeah, just know that you can ask for medicine at the doctor. I eventually also got that, and that helped a lot, and I wish I would have asked for it sooner, but I thought, it's part of it. Everyone has this, it's not so bad, but it was bad. So I would have wanted to do that sooner. And just ask the people next to you to not wear perfume or to go to the supermarket for you. And just have a plastic bag with you for emergencies, you know?
You never know.
Yeah.
But we did not need one.
No.
We always had emergency bags, but we never needed
Yeah,
one.
still in the car, I think it's important to have.
No.
Yeah, and it is just sometimes you forget that you're pregnant in the first trimester. If you're not feeling actively pain or something, people around you don't know yet. So that is also, can be hard to keep such a big secret. But especially if you don't feel good, because then you have to lie about stuff, why you don't feel good. And I think I can definitely say that the first trimester was my least favorite one. But it gets better. And I would say let's move on to your point of view, because
Gladly.
this was kind of my experience in a nutshell.
Okay. So I actually have one whole page and a bag. So when it comes to me, obviously I am not pregnant. It's biologically not possible, but I mean, to have these physical symptoms, I would say for me in the role as the partner, it's more something about the mental challenges that you kind of have throughout the pregnancy, because I'm more of a helpful person, and I'm always trying to help anybody and trying to make them feel good. At least I try to make you feel good. And it's always tough on me to see also that Lieke is in pain, or that she's not doing well. She says she has to throw up, or also having cramps and all that stuff. But let me get back to the start. So the first moment that I saw the positive pregnancy test, I was completely overwhelmed. It was, I can for sure tell you, it was definitely not planned. But the first moment was very overwhelming, like, oh shit. I think it was literally my reaction to it.
No, you had a really sweet reaction. Maybe it's your first thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
But your reaction was just, are you pregnant? And then we both cried. But I can really understand that was also what was going on in your head.
Yeah. And then I think we also mentioned it in an earlier video already. Lieke asked me like, hey, do you wanna stay here for tonight, or you wanna come to my place? And for me it was kind of a switch, completely just flipped. I was like, no, I'm coming with you, I'm going to your place, and then we'll keep on talking and spend the time together, because I just had a feeling I needed to be there, but also to an extent that it was not so healthy for me, because eventually I was always driving from Lieke's place to my place in Hamburg, which is an hour away, and every day. I was doing that every day just to do, for example, home office in Hamburg. And I could have also done it from her place, but I needed like a change in, how you say, like,
Location?
it needed a change in location to be able to work actually, or mentally work, because otherwise I would have just been stuck with, okay, what does Lieke need? Is she hungry? Is she thirsty? Is she in pain? Can I do something for her? So I also think, at least for like 2 months straight, I was making you breakfast every morning. And there was a time that she already gave up an order for the next day, in the morning, what I should make her for breakfast.
Because I was so nauseous in the morning, so I needed to eat something before standing up. Otherwise, it would be just throwing up all the time.
And also in the beginning, yeah, kind of in the first few days, it was, for me, it was just stressing about everything, and we had lots of documents. What forms do we need? What needs to be done in Germany to tell authorities, to tell insurances and all that stuff. But to be honest, in the end of the day, it didn't even matter that much in the first trimester, to be honest, because there's just simply nothing you can do in that time. It's still a time where, I mean, you and the baby are most vulnerable.
Yeah.
It could have also happened that the baby, unfortunately, is not going to make it in the womb.
That is also, by the way, what I just was thinking about now. That's worth mentioning in the first trimester is really the not being sure if it goes okay with the baby, even though you feel terrible, or maybe you feel good, you don't feel anything of the symptoms, and you just in the beginning you just do not know. Yeah, you have a positive pregnancy test, but it doesn't per se mean that your baby is being okay, and that is mentally also pretty heavy. I think the first trimester is mostly mental.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like I said, I was trying to do all the cooking, all the cleaning, and just being around Lieke the whole time, which was very mentally taxing for me. To that time, I was also going through therapy for quite some time, and also the therapist told me, like, hey, just come up with a plan, just look what needs to be done. Just try to find also time for yourself, because, like I said, I was neglecting myself a lot. I was not going to the gym, for example. I was not doing sports. I was not doing something for myself, because on one hand, it's I want to take care of Lieke, but on the other hand, I'm neglecting myself, and I don't think you can really take care of somebody else if you're completely neglecting yourself, because at the end of the day, you're just completely not demolishing, but you're just completely kind of harming yourself with this mentality.
It's
So
also relationship wise not so nice, as in you took care of me so much, and of course we talked about everything, but you were stressing out about everything, which, looking back at it, you definitely did not need to stress already then. You would have had enough time. Absolutely. But it is from one second to another second, you go from man to dad, and you feel like, oh, there's so much, it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I also do think in the beginning, I just needed a lot, as in I had no idea what I was feeling. There was stuff happening, and you really supported me in that, but I also think you really neglected yourself, and then somehow you can also hold a grudge against me, even though you don't really say that, because you cannot make time for yourself. And I think now we have that way better under control, and we talked also a lot about it, like what if the baby's here, how we're going to do that and everything. But in the beginning it is quite challenging, because there's such a big change, and I have all these things happening in my body. You don't, but you have a lot happening in your head, and sometimes it can also just be difficult.
Yeah, I also tend to get stuck up in my head a lot, and Like we also mentioned, the first few weeks is like the most crucial when it comes to the development of the baby. It can also happen that the baby is going to die, but that's for
It sounds so sad if you say it like that.
yeah,
Really harsh.
but it's the case.
Yeah.
And therefore it's also kind of tough already telling people that, because I think you also say in the that you shouldn't tell that in the first trimester.
Most people tell it from 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And
So
we told my parents around 9 weeks, I think,
yeah.
because we had the first ultrasound already.
Mm.
And that is a risk, but that is, on the other hand, you also might want to share it if it's not okay. And I also hated lying to my parents because they were FaceTiming me. They somehow already knew that there was something, but they didn't know what exactly. And I think around that time I was also not able to work anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, then they're asking, how was the work? And I just, yeah, it was super, you know, like all the other days. I just really wanted
Working
to
as
tell.
usual.
And also, if you don't feel good, you want to talk to someone about it.
Yeah.
So we definitely told the parents, I think we told my parents first,
And
around 9 weeks. And
a week later, I think.
yeah, so.
It was also kind of exciting telling Lieke's parents and telling my parents and their reaction. Her parents were kind of excited, mine were a little bit more reserved. I mean, they're also happy, but also in regards of me going to therapy and all that other stuff happening in the background. For example, I'm also still looking for a follow-up job. That's something where I might have been a little bit more cautious, like, hey, is everything going well in the background as well? So that's why they probably reacted a little bit more reserved. And then yeah.
Do you really think the pregnancy afterwards it really helped you with everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was missing kind of a long-term goal in life. I mean, now there is a definitely long-term goal, probably for about 18 years.
If not longer.
If not longer. And yeah, it was emotional roller coaster. The first trimester was really ups and downs, and just I would also say a lot of helplessness, because you just simply don't know what to do.
Yeah, you cannot talk about it, and you don't know if everything is alright.
So the first trimester was all about helplessness and trying to figure out how to deal with this big news. And yeah, there were also some other things going on. For example, we kind of immediately decided that we want to move in together, because it wouldn't have made sense to just keep on living an hour apart. There's a baby on the way. So we were hunting for apartments. Lieke was doing the scouting and I was doing the contacting, and I was also driving back to kind of the area where we live now. And I had 8 apartment visits in 4 days, which was also pretty taxing, and also coming home to that time and then not being able to tell my parents why I came home or why I'm looking for apartments in this area.
With 2 bedrooms too.
With 2 bedrooms.
I was like, why do you need an extra bedroom?
Yeah. And I was talking to my mom, and she was asking like, hey, how's the area? How's the apartment? I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. They have 2 bedrooms, and the neighborhood is also so kid friendly. And to that time, my parents didn't know that Lieke was pregnant, or we were expecting a baby, and she was just curious, because like, why would the neighborhood need to be kid friendly?
Yeah.
Well,
Also for someone who lived in the city and loves living in the city.
Yeah. Well, no, she definitely knows why. We're still really happy with the apartment that we found, and it wasn't Lieke's favorite apartment. It was not my favorite apartment, but it was just the apartment that.
I think it was your favorite apartment.
No, I had a different one.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was the apartment where the gut feeling was just simply the right one, and I think
We made a good decision.
we made a good.
Definitely no regrets.
Yeah. So it was also all about preparing the move, packing stuff together, selling stuff from my apartment in Hamburg, repainting the room, and also just organizing the move. So also a lot of organizing when it comes to that part. Yeah, maybe some other.
Oh, sorry, why did you write down hamster?
Yeah, so Lieke already mentioned the first ultrasound, which was actually really special for also for me because that was the first time that I could actually really see something. And I wrote down hamster because, to be honest, the baby looked like a hamster.
It's so sad.
I also heard my brother saying the baby looks like a capybara, so I think hamster's better. Just on the ultrasound. And
Yeah, and by the way, you did ask me when I already had the positive pregnancy test. I think a few days after you told me, can you please also take a second one? And I think at the ultrasound it really got real for you too.
yeah, actually, it was actually. I thought it were weeks later.
That could also be, but there was some part in you that still didn't believe it somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I'll take a second pregnancy test.
No, in the beginning it was a little bean.
On the ultrasound?
Yeah.
No, I know. But they could see that there was...
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think that's the stage where you can see a heartbeat but not hear it.
Yeah.
And it was just to see if it was at the right place to develop.
And yeah, one of the last things was still to find a gynecologist and a midwife. And a lot of people already said, besides of the apartment, that we already had to kind of find. We also needed to find a gynecologist in the area that we are new in, and also a midwife. And it was also, a lot of people said like, oh, you better do that as early as possible because otherwise you won't be able to find any. But to be honest, it was also stressful. Eventually we got it also fixed, and in the end of the day we actually got a lot of more confirmations about hey, we can be your midwife than I thought it would be, because I think at the end of the day we had like 6 midwives we could choose from, even though it's sad to be very difficult to find just a single one. And yeah, besides that, I could probably tell that I just missed one of the gynecologist appointments, and I was there for all the other ones.
Yeah.
Which is also pretty cool. But
yeah, I don't think that's that common. But with your work you have some flexibility, so I'm really thankful that you can join me for all the checkups. And I also do gotta say, in Germany you have so many checkups. So many. So I'm still really thankful that you could come along with every appointment. And I would also recommend guys that may look like at least go to the first one. And maybe also in the end it's important to go. But yeah, and I just wanted to still mention that there, in the beginning, if you have your first appointments, sometimes they make an ultrasound. Usually they do not do it on your belly, they have to look from inside because it's still also small. And it was here at our place, it was not per se festive or something. They didn't congratulate me. It was just like, okay, they asked like, was it planned or not, and I don't know, how old are you, what kind of work do you do, kind of official stuff, and like, do you have diseases and everything. And then they check up on the baby, and they take blood, they want urine, they want to test everything. So in the beginning it's also a lot of, in Germany they want like this passport, your Mutterpass, they want it filled, so they want every information on you. They want to know, do you want to do these tests, that test. So it's also a lot of deciding.
And they're also trying to sell you a lot of stuff that you don't need.
Like? Condoms?
No, the thingy to see whether the baby will have some disabilities.
Well, that is actually, that's not for selling purposes. That is an important test. You mean the NIPT? Yeah. The one that they can check if it has Down syndrome or other syndrome.
Okay, maybe not that, but so technically it's only that you have 3 ultrasounds throughout the pregnancy.
Yeah, Germany screwed up on that.
Yeah, they are just
I lost count.
Pregnancy, they're just doing ultrasounds every time you go there. So.
Yeah, for me it was every month, and that's a lot. In the beginning I liked it, and now I'm just like, I know that it's fine in there. I feel the baby. You don't have to look anymore.
No.
Yeah. So, but I think that is, especially for Germany, they do love their checkups, and I don't know how they can, because like you said, it is only usually 3 ultrasounds. But somehow at our gynecologist it works differently.
Yeah, but just know that you're always able to tell them like, hey, we don't want any more ultrasounds, even though
with the risk that then they say, okay, then we don't treat you anymore.
Yeah, true.
That is what I was thinking. They put me on the CTG every time now, every 2 weeks, so like to check up then the heartbeat from the baby and if the uterus is already trying to get a baby out and everything, if the baby is moving. And they do say, like around us, everyone says like you can also just say no. But yeah, there is the risk that the gynecologist says like, yeah, we want to monitor everything. And I know we have a gynecologist who wants to monitor everything. And you do have the risk that then they say, okay, then we cannot treat you anymore. And I mean, what are you going to do without a gynecologist? So also like every time they want, they still check the urine every time, the blood pressure every time, and your weight every time. I think blood pressure is good, urine maybe. The weight, I'm also like, yeah, just stop it, it's fine. And yeah, that's not really an option here to say no. I mean, it would be an option with the risk that you cannot go anymore. And that is something in the end I just accepted. Like maybe there are long appointments. They're always like an hour and a half that we're there, and I think it's so unnecessary, especially now in the end. Because they also say, yeah, we can take a CTG and everything is fine, nothing happening, and in the evening it starts. But why do you take the checkups then? I just don't get it. Yeah, but that's me. Maybe I'm just too Dutch for this stuff. I just do think they check a lot in Germany and they want to monitor everything. So yeah, but that's just our personal experience, I think.
Yeah, but to sum up, yeah, my experiences throughout the first trimester was definitely a lot of helplessness, a lot of overwhelmed emotions. Not thinking back at it, I would have definitely, what I would advise myself is definitely to take it slower, try to maintain calm and also care about myself more. Just to make sure that I'm also able to take care of Lieke and just be a little bit more relaxed, even though it's easier said than done with such a big news, such a big change that's coming up in one's life. Yeah,
but in the end of the day you have to realize a pregnancy it takes long. I mean, yeah, it takes 9 months, but 9 months is a long time. I also thought like, oh, we have to fix everything in the first trimester, but you really don't. Now that we are almost in the end, you notice how much time there was to do things. So I would also definitely say don't stress out the first second. Just give yourself time to get used to the idea. That's already exhausting enough. And for the rest, just leave it be, because pregnancy takes long, and I think that is mainly because of this. Okay, baby also has to grow for a while, but I think it's also just because of mental aspect. You just have to get used to the idea, and it's not nothing, and that's why we have 9 months for it. So take that time.
Yeah, I would definitely say do the mandatory things like checking up with the gynecologist and seeing if the baby's alive and kicking or growing. And besides that, just take it slow.
Yeah. Well, that was practically the whole sum up from the first trimester, and yeah, the video just gets way too long if we do all the trimesters in one. Even though I think we can talk less about the second and third trimester, but for now I just want to round up this one, and then next time you can see, I think maybe we do the second and third trimester in one video, but for the first one I think it is long enough. So yeah, I hope you're helped or informed by this information. I hope also that the male perspective can help a little bit. And it can be different for everyone. So you, like I said, it can also be that you're not nauseous at all, that you feel amazing. Because you also do have a lot of hormones going on in your body, and that can be really positive, can also be negative. But it is a journey. It's a roller coaster, and it can also be very positive. So yeah, don't get stuck up on negativity. it can also be very nice. And there were also some nice moments that I felt like I was just high all day. And yeah, there are also some moments that you feel really down, but I think that is
Part of the process.
Part of the process. Yeah. So that was it, I think.
Further ado, thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.
Yes, bye bye.
Bye bye.